Hey there, okay, so we're back, and at the end of the last video we decided that we wanted to be able to actually move this jaw in a way that didn't involve having to select the bones, so we're going to actually go back and change that now. And what we can do is, we've got our scene saved, we can go back to File and Recent Files and bring up our Boxosaurus rig, and from here we can turn on the bones and go, okay, we want to be affecting our jaw in the rotate Z axis. Okay, and so to do that, we want to control it from our head control. So we're going to go ahead and make a new attribute by going to Modify, Add Attribute, and we're going to call it Jaw. Okay, and then we'll add our Jaw attribute down here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use our connection editor. So we're going to go to Window, General Editors, our connection editor. Okay, so because we had our head control selected, that's already in our left column, and we want to bring our jaw into our right column. So we're going to select that and hit Reload Right. If we come down here, we find our jaw attribute that we just added, and then we need to find our rotate menu, and we want to rotate Z. Okay, and so we can see that that's connected, and we can test that out, see what it looks like. And brilliant, our jaw is working. And I'm just going to undo that so that it stays at 0. Now, what we can do as well is when you're animating, you can sometimes key things that you didn't really want to, and a lot of the times you don't want the scale and visibility. So what we're going to do is go through and select these curves here. And I'll just grab the last ones around here, these ones, and we're just going to highlight the visibility and the scales of each of those, right click, and we're just going to lock them. Now you can lock and hide, but I generally like to keep them there so that we can easily unlock them later on if we really need to. Okay, so now we've just updated our rig, but we've got our animation in our other file. So I guess what's going to happen now is when I save this and go to reload our other file here and open it up, we'll find that we've got our jaw attribute, which we can animate. That's great. See, the thing is, if we had, instead of referencing at the start, if we had just simply gone to import, we would not have been able to go back and update our file. This becomes particularly useful when you're working with a character in multiple scenes, and let's say you needed to update your character, update the rig of the character, and you needed that to then flow into each of the different scenes. If you had only imported your rig, you would not be able to just update the original file. You'd have to go through and update each of the files that you have. But if you reference, it means that any changes that you make in the rig file will then flow down into any of the files that you have that have referenced that rig. Okay, great. So we're going to pull the jaw up a little bit here, and we'll add some keyframes in. We need the jaw attribute there. We'll come down to 25. And we'll add in another value of 25 here. And as you'll notice, the actual jaw does not have its, I'll frame that up, the jaw is not cycling as we set the other ones to, so we just need to go ahead and cycle on post-infinity and pre-infinity. And now, you come back and look, we have our nice Boxosaurus walking along here, ready to terrorize any smaller Boxosauruses you may find. Now, of course, when you're animating something like this, you'll be able to go through and tweak values a lot more than what I have, but I hope that during this tutorial you've just gotten the general idea of how you look at these values, and you can just keep on going into each of the attributes and tweaking them a bit, saying, oh, I want to make the jaw move up and down a little bit more, and maybe you want it to be like more open, and you can just go through and keep tweaking each of these controls until you're happy with the animation. But as for this exercise, I'm going to leave you to it, and you can keep tweaking by yourself. Cheers.